And we're back. It's been a minute or two. What do you got there, Cyrus?
Oh, hey, I didn't see you come in there.
He's only playing a Switch 2, which I have one now too. So, yeah. And everyone I've talked to is not like, at least I would say the people who first got one maybe were like, it's good, it's fine. You know, there's some games on it I kind of like or whatever, but I don't know. Something's changed in the last several months because everyone I know that has one is just like, oh no, I fucking love it. So,
oh yeah, well, they finally got all the bangers out that we've been waiting on. You know, Star Fox was the big. I think that really pushed so many people. It pushed me. It pushed you.
Pushed me. Yeah.
I don't know how many people. That's the reason we got Switch 2.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's been over a month since we've done the show.
It's been a while.
Good
Lord.
There's been some big stories come out, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So hopefully we'll get some people in the chat here. They'll catch up with this. But if not, we're going to again roll on into it. Let's go ahead and pull this up. There we go. And we're going to start off with, it's been definitely a hot minute since we've talked about the summer movie game because, wow, this has been a crazy summer. Oh, hey, Wolfus is here. Oh, let me put this on here real quick. Show on the stage. Yeah,
Wolfus is.
Let's see. Too big. Yeah, there we go. No, not wide. We'll leave it regular. There we go. All right. So, yeah, summer movie game. Toy Story 5. I mean, the Odyssey came out and like still made $87 million last week. So even if it stays at 50% week over week, I don't know if it could still catch Toy Story. I think Toy Story just like knocked it out of the park. So, which we're gonna have a story. We're gonna have a story about that here in a minute, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, so Toy Story 5 is in at number 1. Number 2 is the Odyssey at $286 million. Have you seen it?
I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet. I do know that all the weird rumors people were trying to say about the movie to try to tank it because of whatever people like to do that. None of that stuff even was real. Like, you know, the internet, you know.
Yes.
Turns out it's really good, and I haven't seen it, but I definitely want to see it.
Fair enough. I just don't have any interest in it. I don't know. I'll probably eventually watch it. I don't know. I mean, it's a Christopher Nolan movie. I'm sure I will like it to some extent. I just don't have any interest in that story, but it is what it is.
I got to say something that I don't know how you factor this in or anything or what this means, but I saw somebody sharing something today saying the number 1 movie right now was Masters of the Universe. I don't know what that means.
Oh, that must mean the number 1 movie on Amazon is Masters of the Universe.
I don't know what they meant by it. I really don't know.
That's the only thing I can think of because, yeah, let's just keep going. Number 3 is Obsession, $261 million, freaking internet movie. The Devil Wears Prada 2 at number 4, $220 million. Backrooms, then another internet movie at
dude, can you imagine
million?
Can you imagine making an indie movie and banking $261 million?
That's ridiculous. That is so freaking crazy. Yeah. And what's really crazy is, and I don't know if I mentioned this on the last show that we did, but I saw someone was comparing like horror movies to the 80s. You know, you had like Freddy and Jason, and the 2 biggest horror movies out right now are Obsession and Backrooms, and it's about an ex-girlfriend and an empty room. Ooh.
I don't know. An ex-girlfriend can be pretty scary.
Fair enough, but yeah, I've seen Backrooms. I don't get it. And unfortunately, Masters of the Universe, I think, suffered from the same issue because even enough people are of the internet and of this age that they had the backstory stuff on the Backrooms to go enjoy it. I did not. I was not going to watch 10 hours of YouTube just so I could get the lore. Whereas I think that's what happened with Masters is everyone who loved Masters went and watched it, and everyone else was just like, I don't get it. I don't know what this is. I didn't grow up with He-Man.
I got to tell you, anyway, if you want to talk about it, we can talk about
go ahead
for a second. We watched it this past Sunday. Me and my daughter watched it.
What did you think?
So this is the thing about that movie. Everybody that I know, friends, people at work, whatever, everybody that I know that's seen it tells me either they loved it or they didn't like it at all. Like, that's really the two things that I hear. And most, I'd say really 90% of people say they loved it. Okay. We watched it, and about halfway in, we paused it, had to go to the bathroom, do, whatever.
Yeah.
We also talked about the movie, what we thought about it up to that point. And it was a very interesting discussion because here's my thoughts. And my thoughts continue to evolve about He-Man. I don't know. I have these weird conflicting thoughts in my head. But I want to say this. It was very similar in my head to what I experienced with Superman. It was a fun movie, but it was horrible. like it makes no sense. It doesn't try to make any sense. It's deliberately just random boom, boom, boom things, like, and then like, it was just crazy. It had some of the best like callback references and homages to the cartoons and the toys. It was from a geeky, like, this is the way I told my daughter. I said, this movie feels like it was created by 10-year-olds that love He-Man. And what it reminded me of is the stories we used to tell when we'd get all our toys and play, and we would tell stories about what was happening in the battle. It was so fourth wall, random, nonsensical. Like it wanted, like, every other second it was a different movie. It was, now it's a serious thing. Now it's crazy. Now we're joking. Now we're not. Now it's like boom, 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 boom. And you can't even like process it because it was just so much. Did I like it though? Yeah, I did like it. I had fun, but it was horrible. It was
it was not horrible, and it was so much fun. I fucking loved it, and it just kept getting campier and campier, and the whole time I'm just like, thank you for. Yeah. Okay, I know you have, like, my buddy Travis is the same way. He has a very deep-seated love for the original He-Man movie. And I'm not going to take anything away from it. It is what it is. When you watch the documentary on it and you find out they literally were like out of money, and that's why the last fight scene looks the way it was and what it was, it gives you more respect, especially when you hear about like Frank Langella and what's his face that played He-Man, Dolph Lundgren. We're so excited, excited that the movie's coming out, because like their kids were like, you're gonna be in He-Man. That's all. I feel so bad for those guys, but like the movie we got then, you can appreciate it as an adult now, but as a kid it was like, what the fuck is this? This is not He-Man. This movie on the other hand, if we had gotten this movie back then, I think He-Man would have kept going. Like, I think they would have been like, okay, fire up the toys again, guys. Like, we've got a hit on our hands. But it is what it is.
It was like eating a full family-sized package of Skittles. Like, it was it was Crunch Berries. Oops, all berries.
I'm not going to argue that with you at all.
I'm not. Again, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's just like Superman. I'm not saying I hated it. I had a good time watching it, but come on, it was. I mean, it was made. It seemed like it was made by a group of people who had a blank check, and whoever's running Amazon was like, I don't care what you do, just do it. And they were like, well, we're going to put everything in this movie.
Okay, you say that, and I've got a comment about one of the other movies here in a second. Let's get caught up real quick with the chat. Retro Advisory Board says, Psy is Man-E Thoughts coming to theaters this summer for one weekend, then shoehorned to Amazon the next week. Promise.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
because it did not last in the theaters very long. I mean,
No.
it didn't do the numbers. Here's honestly my biggest problem with the movie. I think the special effects look great. Both of the boys, especially Alex, was like, "Dad, I really liked how a lot of that stuff looked in the movie." They blew the budget out way too much. Like it was not going to hit the numbers they wanted. Although there is talk that Amazon doesn't care. Like apparently it did everything they wanted it to do, and are still possibly throwing around a sequel idea.
Well, I'll say this: I would love to see a sequel, if for no other reason than to just see what happens at the end credits realized, and I'd like to see another outfit on Tila because that ass was spectacular.
Last line says, "What's up?" He also said the Odyssey was goated, by the way.
I've heard that's good.
Yeah. Rab says, "I liked He-Man, but no interest in seeing this one."
Oh,
it just seems too
Rab,
fan.
you have no idea how cheesy this movie is.
Did you like the cartoon from the 80s? If you did, you'll like the movie. If you did not care for the cartoon in the 80s, you're not going to have any interest in this.
It's even, dude, okay. I'm not saying this to crap on the movie. I'm just reporting the facts. This movie is so absurd. Like it is the most ridiculous movie. Here's what a lot of people compare it to. Flash Gordon.
You know what? That's I can kind of see it. I can kind of see that. So
it has that similar vibe, right? It actually kind of does. But by the way, I don't want to give away anything spoilery, really, but there is a cameo that's very cool.
Yes. So me and both of my boys had a thought on the movie. I think Alex said he wanted to see, what was it? I think he said he wanted to see more Battle Cat. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, dude. Yes, I've heard that. One of my PJ Smith, my buddy, he keeps saying that. He's like, "Man, I wanted more of the cat."
Wanted more Battle Cat. I can't remember what I said. I said something that I kind of wish they had in there. I don't remember what it was. But Nick had the best comment. He said, "Okay, this is not a spoiler. I guess it's a spoiler. Whatever." At the very last thing in the movie, you hear Skeletor laugh. You know, he could be back, so he's not. You know, he could be back. Nicholas had the perfect comment. He goes, "Why did not have him say until we meet again?" I'm like, dude, that would have been perfect.
There was some missed opportunities, but I will say this: we're getting a little nitpicky because they went out of their way to really throw in a lot of stuff.
The fact that all of the characters were true to the toys and the actual thing, as ridiculous as some of them are, I was just like, thank you. So, like I said, thank you so much for not feeling the need to. And there were references from the other movie. Like that was all. That was I also love the fact that they embraced it as well. They're just like, yes, we're not trying to wipe this away. This movie happened, and we want everyone who loves it to love this one too.
There's a character in the movie that's from that movie that they don't tell you. You just have to know who it is. And you're just like, what?
Yeah. Well, actually, and another one shows up in the very end part. There's like some, it's like drawings or whatever, and you clearly see a certain character holding a guitar, and I was just like, yes, he made. So,
I mean, don't misunderstand. I actually want to watch it again because now that was the thing. It's like I wasn't ready.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't ready. Like if I'd have known better what to expect, maybe I would have. I would have been.
If you watch it again, here's what I say. If you're going to watch it again, go make sure you go get you a nice sugary soda, a big thing of popcorn, or some kind of candy. Like, do the full, you're a kid, you're going to the movie theater experience. Yeah. Like, and just like
break out my He-Man toys.
Yeah. Hell yeah, there you go. So,
yeah, dude, I love He-Man. It's a good movie. I mean, it's not a great movie. It's a terrible movie, but it's fun and it accomplishes the goal. You know, it understood the assignment.
There you go. Yeah. So,
but it's not. If you're looking for a well-written, like,
if you're looking for the Odyssey, this was not it.
Right. Yeah. The writing. I'll say this: in the 80s He-Man movie, Frank Langella wrote most of the best lines that Skeletor has. Like, he wrote them himself.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. And so the writing in that movie has some definite peaks, some moments of, oh, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
This movie does not, but it does stay much, much closer to the source material, because that movie is kind of its own thing. That's like, it's He-Man, but it's also this other thing. This is just like, seriously, this is like you open a box of cereal full of sugar and you're eating sugar, and that's all it is. And it's the He-Man cartoon, but even way cheesier.
Rab says, I like the cartoon in the 80s. Going back to it, I prefer the remade 2000 cartoon, fleshed things out, built up a world like the world building Castlevania did on Netflix, where it won't hit. Dude, if nothing else, just watch it. Like, here's the thing. There's still only one movie series where it was taken away from us. And it's the OG unspecial edition Star Wars. Yes, you can find it, but you got to go hunt it down. Every other movie that's come out, if you don't like the sequel or you don't like the remake, you can still go watch the original. Like, that's the thing I keep reminding people. Give it a shot. If you don't like it, whatever. But yes, that 2000 cartoon was friggin' awesome. And he's right. That Castlevania series on Netflix is fire. It is so fucking good.
So, Rab, I'll tell you this. If you're thinking along those lines, you're going the wrong direction. Like, there's like He-Man, the original cartoon, and it got a little more serious and more like, and then the Netflix He-Man cartoon is a little more serious, a little more like, and this is like, nope, we're going way that way.
Yeah, we're going back to the 80s.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's anyway.
It's a ride.
It's entertaining. It's crazy. It's really crazy. My daughter said it was like watching AI generate a movie.
But you know what? If you've watched the documentary on them making the He-Man toy series, or the toys back in the 80s, seriously, they were like, yeah, everyone in the office was on drugs, and we literally called He-Man the kitchen sink, because you could throw anything at that and be like, hey, let's make a toy that looks like a bee. All right, we'll do that now.
I'm not disagreeing. He-Man is insane. Like, it's a ridiculous series from beginning to end, no matter what you do. And that's what one of my coworkers was saying. He was like, yeah, he's like, I watched it in the family. We thought it was fun. And he's like, I mean, what else could you really do with He-Man? You can't really make it serious. And I was like, I understand what you're saying. I'm not gonna like disagree. He-Man's ridiculous. It is. They were like, yeah, it's not only ridiculous, it's insanely ridiculous. And I'm like, okay. At a certain point, I was like, am I in on this joke, or am I like, I was like, what's happening right now?
I was totally in on the joke. So I could not bring myself to buy the Battle Cat. I couldn't find one right offhand, but I could not bring myself to buy the Battle Cat popcorn container, because it did look really, really cool. So yeah. I'll not to spoil anything else, but I'll just say there's a scene where Skeletor does like a mind invasion of He-Man. Oh my god,
that's the best part of the movie.
That's what Nick said too. He goes, I think that was my favorite part, Dad.
Yeah, and Jared Leto, good job.
I was going to say that once again, just like with freaking Tron Ares.
Yeah,
he's not a bad actor.
No, I like Jared Leto.
He's just box office poison when it comes to being a human being.
Well, yes, he has a bad track record. He does shitty things in real. At least he has in the past done some really shitty things in real life. But maybe he's grown as a person. I don't know. But his performances for at least Tron and for this, very, very good.
Yeah, I agree.
And his second callback when they did the Snyder cut of the Batman versus, what is it? The Justice League. The extra scenes they added with him as the Joker were actually really good. Like, I think he's progressing. So, but maybe he is box office poison. I don't know.
Kind of seems like it, but Number 6, Mandalorian and Grogu. Have you seen the Mandalorian and Grogu, Cyrus?
Yes, I have.
You have.
Yeah.
I have not seen it yet.
Really?
Yes,
we watched it in the theater the opening weekend.
It kind of surprises the hell out of me, to be honest with you. But I'm like, I think it's on Disney Plus now. I need to find time to sit down and watch it with the boys.
I went and saw it with Manon and my daughter, my brother and my daughter, and it cost me over $100 for us all to go watch this movie. But it was good. I liked it. Yeah, it's a fun movie. Is it the best Star Wars movie ever made?
No, but
it's fun.
Yeah, as long as it's a fun. And see, I've heard a lot of people say if you like the series, you're going to like the movie. And I'm like, okay, that's all I need.
It's an hour and a half long episode of the show. Yeah. It's its own season.
Last line says, any bets on Spider-Man this weekend? It has a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, same as the original Spider-Man. My buddy Travis actually messaged me earlier saying that at least a lot of reviews kind of seem to be all over the place with it. So I don't know about you. Did you see the trailer for Avengers yet?
Oh yeah.
Are you excited for Avengers? Because
very much so. The new trailer. Not. Yeah, I know you're not. And I understand why, because I've been there and I haven't been interested in Marvel stuff. But the new trailer and then listening to a lot of the people that are in it talk about it, I saw an interview with James Marsden, Cyclops.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the, coming back and he got back into shape and, he got to put on this new suit, which is the, cartoon or comic accurate suit,
Yeah.
But talking about all these scenes and all these people that are in the movie, and I am excited about it. I think it looks like it'll be good.
I hope I will get excited to it. I'm honestly hoping, the reason why I bring it up, I'm hoping Spider-Man makes me excited. I'm hoping I'll watch Spider-Man and go, okay, all right, let's go. I'm ready.
I know somebody that saw it that I do value their opinion, and they told me it was the best one since Spider-Man 2. And I was like, hang on a second.
Wait a minute. Which Spider-Man 2?
No, the one with Doc Ock with Tobey Maguire.
That's what I was going to say. Because I was like, Spider-Man 2 was okay. The first Spider-Man was better, but I'm like, if we're talking about OG Spider-Man, then Spider-Man 2 was fucking epic.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay, that's an interesting
take. That is an interesting take.
Now, I haven't seen it. I don't know. I'm just saying what I was told, and I'm trying not to get too hyped on it, but I have a feeling it's really good.
I hope so. So, let's see here. Minions and Monsters, $155 million. I mean, that's still great money, but I don't know if that's what they were expecting out of the Minions. I think the Minions are about running out of gas.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next movie, Disclosure Day, is another movie that I have actually seen.
Oh boy.
And you made the comment that you felt like He-Man, someone at Amazon said, hey, here's a bunch of money, go make a movie. That was Disclosure Day.
Yeah.
The acting is great. The special effects are pretty good. Nothing really stood out that made it seem like it was like bad or anything. But like, it's like no one went to Steven Spielberg and said, hey, Steven, what are you going for here? What exactly is the story? And do you really think this would work in 2026? Because it doesn't. The whole, like the things that are interesting about the movie, they don't explore. And when you get to the end of it, you'd be like, yeah, that's not how that would happen. Like, it's just, I felt so bad watching it. Like, I watched it the whole time and I'm just like, and like my buddy, once again, I went out and watched it with Travis and he's just like, did you feel like it had any of that Spielberg magic in it from like his, and I'm like, no, I never once felt kind of whimsical or anything like that. It just felt like the bad guys were so inept the entire time. Like, there's so many times they should have stopped them dead in their tracks into the movie. That's it. Nope. The good guys got away again. And it was just like, it was not good. Don't bother. Don't watch it, guys. Don't spend your time on it. I hate to say that, but Last line. We do have Secret Wars next year, so this will be part 1, part 2 type situation. That's true. So, and Ray agrees. Scary Movie made $108 million. I guess that's what they were hoping for. I'll be honest with you. I made a lot more money than I thought it was going to make. So,
yeah, that's actually a lot for that type of movie.
Exactly.
That's good. Wow.
And then Moana is at number 10. Here's the thing. Spider-Man comes out. If Moana can surpass Scary Movie, it'll stay on the top 10. If not, we're going to be saying goodbye to Moana because it made $10 million this last week. It probably can catch Scary Movie, but we're going to see because Spider-Man's going to shake everything up. So that's going to be the question. All right, let's go ahead and get to our first story. Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't go over the top 10. Yeah, this is our current top 10. Patrick R at 54, Michael at 43, tied with our buddy Lewis at 43. Last Line is tied at number 4 with 41 points. Good job, Last Line. Mike P at 6, Josh W at 7. Chris is at 35 points. Ray is at number 9 with 32 points. I don't say you and me, Cyrus.
I've always told you I'm terrible at this game.
Okay, listen. Here's the thing, guys. Number 3, number 4, and number 5. Who the hell thought those movies were going to be that high up?
This is what always happens. It's you can't predict this.
No, yeah. Like everyone came out to go cheer on Devil Wears Prada. Like apparently people were really wanting that movie. And then, like I said, the internet showed up for Obsession and Backrooms. So yeah, we'll see. Just Ray said, Pat's about to drop. I'll let him know. Oh, thanks. Yeah, let him know. So, all right. So now let's move on to our first story. It's an update. I thought the story was pretty much dead. Nope. Just like it, this merger is essentially a zombie movie. Every time they think they've got everything taken care of and nailed down, something crawls out of the grave to threaten it again. So the merger is currently on hold until June of 2027 because 12 states' attorney generals have filed an antitrust against this. It's also currently fighting antitrust stuff going on in Europe. So this is a multi-prong attack thing. This isn't just like one person going after it. This is multiple people saying, hey, this is not a good idea. And here's why it matters. Starting this October, Paramount must pay Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders $650 million per quarter until this closes. And if the deal breaks up, Paramount will owe $7 billion and not even acquire the company. Can you imagine being on the hook for $7 billion and not even getting whatever it is?
No.
So, yeah, it's going to be crazy. Last Line, horror is in this year, I guess, though Evil Dead Burn didn't Evil Dead Burn did not do very well. So, Born Distracted, did I miss the OLED chat? No, Born, we're saving it till the end. So you have to hang around, buddy.
Do you have my cats as your... He does. That's Moogle and John.
Seriously?
Smith. Yes. Wow.
That's crazy. Are you stalking or are you a big fan? Hopefully it's the second.
Oh, he's definitely stalking. This is
okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. He said yes, I LOL. All right. Oh, here's another update I forgot about. Ramageddon is still happening. Currently, $454 for 32 gigs of DDR5. God.
That's so crazy. That's crazier than He-Man.
Yeah, especially because last October it was $119. Almost 4 times the amount.
That's not fun though. That's not entertaining.
No, not at all. Yeah.
We're almost to the max again.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's kind of hovering around the mid 400 mark. So
it's like gas prices, you know?
Yeah, no shit.
Oh, they're coming down. No, they're not.
Let's see. You could buy 32 gigs of RAM to put in a computer, or you could buy a Switch 2.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How much RAM does the Switch 2 have in it?
Beats me.
Yeah,
I don't know. I do know it's going up in September, which is why I bought one now. So yeah.
Wow. Is one of our stories the story about Nintendo getting the money back from the government? And
no, we didn't. It's not on there, but we'll tell you, let's save it till we get to Nintendo, because we're going to pretty much drag everyone tonight. So no one is escaping tonight. So,
okay.
All right. First up is Pixar. So we just mentioned how much, let me go back here real quick. How much money did Toy Story 5 drag in? $448 million. Now that's just US domestic. Okay. That is not worldwide. In fact, you know what? Let me go ahead and switch back over here real quick. And we're going to look up real quick. How much is Toy Story? Box Office Mojo. Why did you put that in?
What's up, John? Retro Bros here.
Let's see. Box Office Mojo. We'll hit the weekend. We'll click on this. We'll do Toy Story 5. Toy Story 5 has made 400 as of today. Now this was back on Monday. As of today, Toy Story 5 has made $450 million domestically, $575 million internationally. So the worldwide gross for Toy Story 5 right now is $1 billion.
So that worldwide number does not include the domestic? It's like a separate amount?
No, the worldwide number is the two combined, is the domestic plus international.
Oh, I thought you said it was 500 something for that.
Yeah, 575 and 450.
No, okay, let me clarify what I'm asking you.
Okay.
450 for the domestic.
Right.
500 something for worldwide.
I'm sorry, for international. I should have said international.
Okay, that's what I was trying
to say. My apologies.
Okay.
And the worldwide is $1 billion. So this movie has already made Pixar, Disney, $1 billion. All right.
Wow.
Disney cut hundreds of I forgot a word there. Hundreds of people from ESPN, Disney Entertainment Television, Disney Studios, but Pixar got hit the hardest. Even after the success of Toy Story 5. They're focusing on production and operations. They are slowing down the amount of movies, which I guess technically is kind of a good thing. Like they said they're going to focus more on quality over quantity, which I'm all for that. I think that was one of the big problems with Marvel and Star Wars right now. But yeah, they had already cut 1,000 employees back in April. Like, once again, this is literally, I saw someone that was laid off from Pixar put out a thing saying, oh, sweet. So now we're in the same boat as all the video gamers. Let's work really hard on a product, release it, have it do really well, and then immediately get cut. Sounds great, guys. This is exactly the industry I want to continue to work in.
Yeah.
So disheartening. So, Retro Bro, evening, gentlemen. Nice to see you guys are back. Yes, sir, we are back. Rab, I don't even want RAM anymore. I'll build a computer with a wall back with cassette reels for memory. Yeah, tell me how that works out, bud. Just getting caught up here. Yep. It's just, this is ridiculous. So, like, you remember when we were growing up, Cy, and it came a little after us, but like the whole thing was you want to learn how to work with computers. You want to learn how to program. You want to learn how to maybe do animation. Like, you want to learn computers. Computers are the way. Computers are going to get you a good paying job that's going to last your entire life.
Dude, on my way to work this morning on the radio, they had a commercial for computerjobs.com or some shit like that. And it was like, my career was going nowhere. I went to college and couldn't use my degree. That's okay. Come to computercareerjobs.com or whatever the hell. We'll get you started in a career. You could start right out as soon as we're done. Like, okay, right. Setting whoever this fictitious person is up for 2 failures.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Retro Bro says part of the reason why the AAA game scene is as bad as it is because the industry has become too bloated. I mean, that could be, but I mean, the fact that you want to push people to work super hard to produce a product and then immediately cut them, like I get it. If you produce a product and it tanks, you walk in and go, "Hey guys, we're out of money. Like, sorry, we have to cut people." You don't walk in and go, "Hey, we made $1 billion. You're all fired." Like, fuck you.
I will say this: video games used to cost a fraction of what they cost to make now. Like, in order to make a AAA game using all the best technology and whatever, it's like years and years of development and work, and then a game comes out, and then it's another couple of years of fixing the game once it comes out, you know? So it's like this extended, lengthy, super long process for one game, and you spend hundreds of millions on some of these games, you know? Like, I remember like hearing like the last Call of Duty, it cost them like 200 million or something to make this game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, video games used to take a long time to make for the really good ones, for the RPGs or for whatever. But they didn't cost nearly what they cost now. It's a different, what's happening now in the business. I think John's point, let me just say this. You can't spend literally billions making games and then the games come out and don't make their money, right? You can't do that. That's unsustainable. You know, when you say the industry is too bloated, they have these huge teams of people working on games for years. They've been paid a salary and whatever has happened for all these years. The game finally comes out, if it even comes out, and then it doesn't even make the money. And then it's like, I mean, you can't, the industry is upside down. The industry is in disarray. And what really sucks is there are plenty of great games coming out that are not like that. John's an indie developer himself. There's a lot of great games coming out from small studios and indie people and stuff that maybe they aren't that well known, or they don't get that kind of publicity, or they don't have those kind of graphics, you know, or whatever. But a lot of these games are really good and people are buying them. And these small studios are doing well. The other problem we have is, you know, a lot of these guys get absorbed, you know, by these conglomerates, you know, and then shut down. So the people with the good ideas, the people with the new, fresh perspective and bringing something to the table that's been missing because everything's just this samey kind of thing. A lot of those guys, they put in all this work and they work on something and they get put on a team doing this other thing that maybe they don't even want to do, but they're working on it, putting everything they can. And then those people are gone. So it sucks. The other thing that sucks is with all these people from the industry out of work, where are the jobs for anybody young that's trying to get into gaming? You know, you have to basically do your own game and hopefully get some kind of success. Like, it's turned into the music industry, you know?
Yeah, I love it. You're right.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I actually heard a story today, something like that Rockstar's already made $300 million on just the pre-sales for GTA 6. And it's like, apparently it costs like $200 million to make the game. So it's like, oh, so you've already made that and 50% more. And the game hadn't even dropped yet. Like, so a little part of me is just like, I don't want to make this prediction, but part of me is just like, I'm willing to bet as soon as that game drops in the next couple of weeks after that, Rockstar lays off a bunch of, you know, and it's going to be one of those situations. So,
well, they already did it once. They'll do it again. I mean, this is what happens now. It's become so like common. I'm like the Yoda. Yes.
Hasn't dropped yet and doesn't have a physical, so much for Yeah, no disc, no body.
Yeah, this is the thing about gamers. This is the thing I'm going to say. We are a bunch of liars, man. Like we'll be like, I refuse to support this thing that. What do you tell you? Exactly.
Oh, I'm just showing the Switch 2 that everyone said I'm not buying that thing. It's way too expensive, and it's got the carts, and it's this and it's that. I'm never gonna buy one.
I'm the worst.
Switch 2's fucking made a bunch of money for Nintendo. I'm just saying.
I tell everybody that I can't be trusted. If I tell you I'm definitely not buying this, that means there's a 50% chance I'm probably going to buy it. If I say I don't think I'm buying it, it means I'm definitely buying it. Like I'm the worst. Like I've bought, this has been going on with me forever, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I love the Switch too. I'm very happy to have one. I got a PS5 Pro. Did I ever mention, Eugene, that
I don't know if you did. You mentioned you had a PlayStation.
Yeah. So I'm not like judging the internet. I'm not sitting on top of my, my throne on the hill looking down at the peasants and judging them with a big finger. I'm not doing that. I'm not that guy. I'm one of you. I'm the leader of you.
Last line saying 200 million was the cost of Red Dead 2 back in 2018. GTA 6 is estimate. So like, and that's one. I mean, it could have been completely blown out, but so
how did they spend $1 billion making?
Okay, how long has this game been in development though?
Well, a long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I mean, the game's going to make the money back. The question is if the budget really was $1 billion, they'll make that money back. I just don't know how much more than that they would necessarily make. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you this. I think they and Sony and everybody involved in the decision making of not supporting physical products, I think they're going to be surprised how much it hurts them to not have a physical, like a legit physical version of GTA 6, because part of the reason that game was so prolific is because it was a present. It was gifted on birthdays and Christmases, and people were buying copies to just keep like a, on their shelf and never open, not having that as a thing. I think it's going to have a bigger I think this is the year we find out the truth about how valuable physical media is to video games. Like, is it true that it really is not valued and should just go away? Or is it more valuable in ways maybe that they hadn't even considered that are going to come to light as we get to the holiday season and things like that? I'd be very interested to see.
Real quick, I just did a quick search. IGN is reporting between 1 and 1.5.
1.5 billion to make Grand. Oh my God.
Yeah. Retro Bro said, do people still buy games for kids? Yes and no. It depends on the age of the kid. If they're small and depending on what kind of console they have, yes, they do still buy games. I have had people contact me and been like, hey, what game should I buy for whatever? And of course, my thing is talk to the kid.
Yeah, but he's got a point though,
and also no, because a lot of them are doing the Fortnite, and so it's like, no, you buy a card that gives them credits or points or whatever, bucks or whatever, and you do it that way. So yes and no. It just kind of depends. So
a lot of little kids are not even playing actual games. They're playing like whatever they downloaded for 5 minutes and then delete it, check something else out, delete it, check something else out, delete it. If they get into anything a little bit, it's Fortnite or it's that Roblox or whatever. But yeah, John's got a point. A lot of people don't buy games for their kids. They just like, here's your phone. Here's your phone. Do whatever. Or
they buy it digitally.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, one of the things that I like about the Switch 2, yes, there are the game key cards and people have thoughts about that. And I understand that, but the Switch 2 is getting actual cartridges, and I've been building a physical collection on my Switch 2. But I think that most of the people that care about that are not kids. I think
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see about the longevity, the ultimate longevity of physical stuff, even for Switch 2. I don't know. But I just wonder, I'm curious about the holiday season. Like, what is it going to, am I just living in the past? Probably,
I don't know. The internet has been all up in arms. And the fact that you know what, we're going to get there in just a second. In fact, is that our next story? Let's see here. Yeah, that's our next story. Starting in January of 2028, Sony will stop making physical disc. Consumer preference has shifted towards digital downloads. At least that's what they told us. I would say yes. I would say if you probably look at their, because why would they lie? I'm sure they looked at it and they're like, well, like 80, 90% of people just download the game. They're not buying a physical disc.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that here in a second.
By the way, that's me too. Most of the games I buy are digital. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not in any way suggesting that I don't buy digital stuff and that I don't like digital games. I just like to have the option for a few special games to get the physical version for me.
Well, see, I'm like you. Like, I mean, granted, the last console I had before I bought the Switch 2, well, I had a Switch 1, but was an Xbox Series S. So I couldn't buy physical games. So any of the games I had on it, I had, they were, of course, purchased digitally. The thing I've been playing the most right now is still Helldivers 2, which is on Steam. It's a digital download. Buying a physical copy of a PC game, is that even a thing anymore? Like,
there's certain things, but it's not a common thing.
Yeah, it's not a common thing. Yeah. I forgot where I was going with this. But anyway, yeah, but like on my Switch 2 or like on my Switch or whatever, I think I only bought 2 or 3 games digitally. Otherwise, I have the cartridges for all of them. And going forward, like the next game I look at buying, unless it's not offered as a cartridge, I'm probably going to continue to buy cartridges. I like having the cartridges on this. So here's an interesting side note. I don't think he's in the chat anymore. You're going to appreciate this, Cyrus. So, my wife was up at her grandparents' house this last weekend, helping take care of her grandfather. And Alex reaches out to her and goes, "Hey, Mom, when you come back, since you won't have a bunch of stuff in the car, could you bring me that?" Now it's funny. The way he phrases it, "Could you bring me that CRT TV that's in that back bedroom?" And the question comes, "What is the CRT tube TV, babe? The tube TV?" Like, I'm like, Alex, listen. If you're talking to a geek or someone your age, they might understand what CRT is. If you're talking to someone my age that's not a geek, they have no idea what the fuck a CRT is. Say tube TV, they'll understand you. But anyway, so she brings it back to him. So he's got this little, probably 13-inch CRT in his room now that has a built-in VHS player in the bottom of it, right? And I'm like, what exactly are you wanting to do? Because he had told me these ideas. He's like, have you seen where people will like hook up adapter after adapter or whatever, and they'll get like their newer console to work on it? And I'm like, yeah, okay. That's not exactly what he had planned. I was like, is he going to try to output his juiced up PC to? Nope. Guess what Alex bought this week and should be in, I think, later this week. You will never guess.
Is it a retro game console?
It is a retro game console.
Oh.
It's a retro game console that he considers a retro game console, but you and I are borderline on.
Okay. PlayStation 2?
He ordered specifically a fat Xbox 360.
My man.
I knew you were going to like that. He's already like, yeah, Dad, I'm already starting to hunt down some games and stuff. He's like, I just want to see what it looks like and plays like on there and stuff. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I said, now here's the thing. Playing on that little 13-inch, if you're close enough to it, it'll be fine. But if you really get into this, maybe we should go hunt down a 20-inch because that's what Dad played on, and that was for the time. That was just right, buddy. So,
well, I can't blame him. The 360 is freaking awesome.
God, yes, it was. Yeah,
it is. Don't even was. It is.
You're right. No, my apologies. You're absolutely right. So. So then you were doing a stream the other day, and I think someone on one of your streams said they just bought a 360 Slim or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I've affected several people.
Imagine that.
Yeah. PJ got one.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Chris got one. Crispy. He goes by a name Crispy or Famous. Crispy or Famous. He got one. And he was like, he's like, dude, you're making me buy stuff because I'm watching you play it. I'm like, this is what we do to each other. We all do this to each other. Yes.
Retro bro, no, he does not need a 27-inch. Those things are fucking heavy as hell, dude. They are so awesome.
When I went to Pittsburgh and visited my friend up there, he tricked me into helping him move a giant TV. It was a 35-inch.
Holy hell.
A 35-inch Sony Trinitron. And
wow.
He didn't tell me about it until we were going to go do it. And as we're on the way there, this TV gets bigger every 15 minutes. First, it was a 27-inch. Then it was a 32-inch. And then finally, we're almost there. And he goes, I think it might be a 35-inch. Because I told him, I said, the whole way there, I'm like, I think we might be able to squeeze a 32, but there's no way we're fitting a 35 in here. Thank God it's not a 35-inch we're going to get. And he's like, yeah, that's good that it's not that big. That's right. And then like right when we're almost there, I think it's 35-inch. I'm like, what? And it was so incredibly heavy. So, I mean, that TV will never be moved again.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like,
the last TV I had, my dad bought me and my brother, because we both graduated with our college degrees at the same time. He bought us both a 32-inch TV. I've told this story before about going into Best Buy and asking which had a better picture, a four-layer analog comb or a 3-layer digital comb. And the guy was like, but yeah, that 32-inch, like I had to have someone else help me. Like, yes. Could I physically pick it up? Yes. Was I scared the entire 2 seconds I had it lifted? I was going to drop it and completely damage that thing? Absolutely. So that was like, no, 2 people every single time. Like you're asking for trouble if you have a TV that big.
Yep.
So yeah. Last line says, I just picked up NBA Jam for the 360. Nice.
Oh yeah.
So famous
crispy old games.
Okay.
It's famous or crispy old games.
Famous or crispy. Okay.
Yes.
35, easily,
dude,
300 pounds.
John, that TV, fucking max, dude. Like it was so heavy. It was incredible. It was incredible how heavy.
Nice. I'm happy with my 13-inch JVC.
Now let me say this. The smaller CRT is fantastic for like if you play your games at like your desk, or you have like a little game room where it's kind of everything's together and you're not playing like on the couch back far away, then a small CRT looks amazing because the pixel density is so tight in those TVs. So a smaller CRT can actually look really sharp, really, really good.
True. Yeah, once he gets this thing in, I have to say I'm a little excited to get it hooked up so I can just see. He's like, Dad, we could play Left 4 Dead. I'm like, technically we could do that on our computers now. But yes, I get what you're saying, son. So NBA Jam on Fire Edition is amazing. You can play as Obama and McCain.
That's
so
funny. I think I have that digitally on my 360. I think I do.
Born Distracted said, why can't someone make a modern CRT?
So John and I talked about this a couple years ago. It's tough, man. Like they don't make them anymore. There's only like one place that maybe might make them in China or something like that. But it's not a technology that even people know how to do anymore. It's like once they dropped that and moved on to LED and plasma and all the different things that have come since, OLEDs, Born Distracted, OLEDs. It became sort of a lost art, sort of like the Damascus steel of televisions,
Oh, I was going to say it's the clock repair or watch repair.
Yeah, right.
Like if you had a legitimate nice watch, where you would have to go find a specialty store. Now you live in a large metroplex, but I don't. Like if I had an actual legit nice watch and something was broken in it, like I'm sure I would have to go to a much bigger city to even try to find someone.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You have all those pawn shops there. You would just go pick up something there because y'all have the legendary pawn shops. You can find whatever there, not even pay.
But if I wanted that one repaired, like that ain't happening.
Yeah.
So.
No. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Because they don't make
the
glass.
Yeah.
That is true. Vinyl did make a comeback, but vinyl also is a very easy thing to do.
I was going to say, Sony's announced they're canceling their physical Blu-rays, and then they put out an ad promoting a record player that they're making, and they're promoting vinyl. Sony did this
That's crazy.
A couple days ago.
That's absolutely insane.
What world are we in? What's happening?
You're talking about the same company that sued everyone for MP3s the same year they put out an MP3 player. It's like, what are you? Obviously, there's multiple branches of this company that don't bother talking to each other at all.
Look, Sony doesn't make any sense. Like this is a company puts out a new system and just dumps it in like 2 weeks. Like, you know, they don't support the Vita. They didn't support the PlayStation Vita TV, VR, VR2. They like all these things they put out and then didn't support them at all. This is what Sony, they're crazy. Their company's crazy.
You'd have to, he's basically saying you'd have to basically spin up an entire manufacturing plant for something a handful of nerds would buy.
Yeah, John knows because we looked at this together. Like he was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if we could make CRTs and sell them to the community because people want CRTs, right? Wouldn't it be cool to have a new CRT that was like brand new?
Mm-hmm.
And he knows way more about it than I ever will because he actually looked into stuff. But yeah, it's just not possible. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, because at some point you have to be able to make enough that it becomes at least break even. And even with as many people out there, but you know how cost prohibitive that would be?
It's not possible. Yeah. And like I said, a lot of the technology is not even people don't have the expertise. There's not the people that know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to like get people out of retirement to train new people. And like it's just not feasible.
See, when you say that, it reminds me of what is this spaceship that the satellite NASA has it is like now out of, it's like completely out of our solar system. You know which one I'm talking about,
Voyager.
Right? Yeah, Voyager. Like they had to call up their old engineers and were just like, hey, we need y'all to tell us how to do this. Like, because no one here even remembers this technology. And that's what spins up in my head when you're talking about that. But it would be the exact same thing. It would be, hey, does anyone grandpa still around that worked on TVs? And does he remember what he did? Like, so,
I mean, that's the truth though. Like it's not just, do you have documentation about how to do it? Do you have the expertise? Because people have to do it, you know, and they don't.
Yeah. So let me see some of those. Yeah. Like it's funny because what's it called? I lost my train of thought. Anyway, whatever. If I think of it, I'll come back to it. So, all right. Next story up. PlayStation antitrust lawsuit. So they just lost a lawsuit and they have to pay out $7.85 million in store credits. The information on this was Sony, this was the quote, unlawfully eliminated competition and monopolized the market for its digital games. When this story broke, a lot of people immediately went, so are we going to get to do this again in 2028? Because the only way you'll be able to buy games will be through their digital store. There won't be a way to buy a disc or anything. And if they're not promoting a game the way I think they should be, or favoriting one game or another, they could be clearly shooting themselves in the foot for this and basically just setting this up for it to be slam dunk on.
Well, there's a lot of people in Congress that are keeping an eye on this that have talked about it. A lot more than I thought would give a shit about Sony saying they're going to stop making Blu-rays, video games. You would think like Congress would kind of be like, whatever, it's fucking video games. Like, whatever. But
They've
no,
never been
like,
that friendly to video games.
Yeah,
Let's just-
yeah. Lieberman, excuse me. But yeah, there's several people in Congress that are like, we're watching this very closely. We might be getting ready to take some action on this. Like it's a very big concern. People don't think it's that big a concern, I guess. I don't know. A lot of people do, but there's a lot of people who think whatever, it's just, I'll just buy the digital and that's just the future anyway. So who cares? This is an old antiquated technology. But it's not just about that. It's not just about owning your copy of a game and the collectors and the what do they call it? Preservationists. It's not just about that. It's also about competing marketplaces. One of the reasons that a closed marketplace is tolerated is because there are other options that can be made available to compete, like used games or discounts at retailers for the physical games or whatever. Even on computer, there's places that sell keys and there's different things, right? Where there is some level of competition. Once you have a completely sealed marketplace, which is this is what's happening. Once it's like, that's it. It's whatever we say and that's it. Then you really have to ask yourself, okay, what is that going to mean for the consumer? What is it going to mean for the quality of the product? What is it going to mean for the, like all the people that don't have good internet? I guess they're not going to play video games. Like people that live in like Alaska or Hawaii or different places, maybe islands or off here in the country or whatever. I guess they're just screwed, right? I guess that's what we're going to do. And here's the other thing. Suppose you have an account and you don't have regular access to the internet, so you don't get on often enough. We now know that they can just kill your account after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, we didn't put that story on there, but you're right. That also came, it was like what, 60 days, 90 days, something like that? Yeah.
There's a lot of pieces to this that I think are going to, we know a lot of it, but there's a lot of things that we haven't seen the real reality of yet because it hasn't become the standard. Yes, John was right talking about Steam. Steam's been the standard for PC for a long time. PC's become an all digital marketplace, but there's still competition in different marketplaces on PC. And there's different ways that can be. Like you can buy DRM free games on PC. Like there's games that you can buy that you buy it on like Good Old Games or whatever, where they're not tied. Like you don't have to check in. There doesn't have to be a validation. There doesn't have to be a online component to it or whatever. And you can get your stuff and then you separate from the internet and it's fine. It's whatever. And to an extent, Steam's that way too. But it's also possible for games to get killed on Steam that actually kill your ownership of a game as well. This is not unique to the consoles. That's if a license gets taken away from you, you don't have it anymore. We've already seen that happen with the movies that people bought, including myself, on PlayStation. And certain games, this has happened too, where even though you bought the game and you downloaded the game itself won't work because you can't validate with the servers or they actually kill your license for the game.
Yeah.
This happens. So anyway, I'm kind of going on in different ways here, but yeah, there's a lot of components to how this is all going to really play out other than just like the face value of it. There's a lot of things that we don't know about how this is really going to go.
See, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I think that's why they're looking into it.
And see, I just had this thought because of the comment I made earlier. It's, Sony has all these different departments that don't obviously talk to each other. I wonder if this is one of those things that they're like, oh, hey, maybe we should do this, when another department's like, do y'all not know what happened with Apple and Google? Like how they got raked over the coals for having a locked in system that no one else can be in, and like how they're still getting beat up on that. Like, do y'all not remember any of that stuff and how there was a bunch of money lost? Because I wonder if there are certain groups in Sony are just like, hey guys, like this is probably not going to work out the way you think it's going to work out.
I want to say one more thing. it's really funny that during this conversation about all this happening with the discs and the digital marketplace, both PlayStation Network and Xbox Live went down. They were down. PlayStation Network was down for like 2 days and nobody could do anything really. They had to make sure their console was set to the offline thing. I even had this happen to me. Like when I was
I wondered when you were playing that and you had that problem, I wondered if this is what got you.
Yeah. So, but it was even worse for Xbox, because what happened for Xbox was the reason that everything went down wasn't even their own service. It was other services that were tied into theirs where they had to validate with them. And it was a whole separate thing that they hadn't even thought about. And it wasn't the Xbox service itself that went down. It was the other services that were outside of Xbox that ended up making their service not work how it's supposed to. And it sort of created like a cascade effect. I'm like, what have we not thought about? This is what I'm saying. There's things that we haven't even thought about that we all think this is going to just go off without a hitch. And it has up to this point because there's been options for people. You know, I used to hear, look, I'm not going to get into a PC versus console thing here, but I will say I used to hear a lot of PC people tell me more options is always better. And I think that that's true. I think that's a good thing to say. More options usually is a good thing. And we're going to be eliminating a huge array of options for everybody. At least that's where this is all going. I mean, we're talking about PlayStation right now, but we'll see, you know. I don't think it's better. I don't think losing something like that is better. I don't know what the upside is. What is the upside?
Supposedly, I heard they have one major plant that makes most of their disc, and they're trying to convert it to do something else, probably some AI bullshit. And maybe that's where they're thinking the savings is going to come in. But Retro Bro says, you know what didn't go down Steam, PC Master Race. But seriously, my wife couldn't play Sims. She owns the game, couldn't play it. But the reason why I put this one up specifically for PlayStation 1, I didn't really hear about the Xbox one too much, because everybody was like, oh, look, PlayStation Network went down for 8 hours and you couldn't log in. You couldn't get to the store. But most importantly, you could not play the digital games that you owned. And a lot of people were like, so when I get a PlayStation 6 and everything's digital, if y'all service goes down, I basically have a brick sitting there until y'all get your shit straight. And a lot of people were like, yeah, kind of sounds that way. That maybe, unless you can go in and turn it to an offline mode like you were talking about. But
I was glad they had that, because I didn't even know they had that. But thankfully I was able to keep playing my game because I could turn that switch. But I didn't even know that. So yeah, I don't know. But my point is, okay, let me just say, I'm not trying to be like we're all fucked. I'm not trying to be like this is the end of the world. You know, the sky is falling. What I'm saying is, I just wonder what the further complexity is that we're not considering, and what, you know, whatever benefit there is for ceasing the production of physical media, it's a benefit to Sony and their partners. It's not a benefit to us. We're not going to get cheaper games. We're not going to get like the savings passed on to us. You know, we're not going to get like there's not like, oh guys, what you don't know is as soon as we cancel the discs, all the prices are going to go down. Instead of being $80, it'll be a $40 game. That's not going to happen at all. Like what I was talking about, what we were talking about before with I don't know if you want to get into that, but maybe we'll wait for the Nintendo stuff. We'll talk about the money that was taken, that Nintendo, the rebate that they're getting back from the government because of the tariff stuff. And they flat out said they're not giving it. They're not passing that on to the customers. They're just going to keep it.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. This is the same thing. They're gonna negate all the cost of producing discs and having the factories and the workers and the equipment, and they're just gonna take that money.
Sorry, I was trying to figure something out real quick. We're just gonna do it this way. Okay, so that's $1 million. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. All right, so here are my thoughts. Everything you said, yes, rubber stamp. I agree. I think this fall we're going to have a super great preview of what this is going to look like. Okay. Supposedly they've, like we talked about earlier, that Rockstar's already made several $1 billion off of the pre-sales, or $1 billion off of the pre-sales of what's it called? GTA 6. Okay. If you divide that by $100, which is the kind of mid-range high level of the game, that's $1 million. Let's say there's been at least 1 million people who have already paid for to get GTA 6, right? This game is being estimated at being 300 gigabytes, right?
Yeah.
Cyrus, what do you think is going to happen the day the game is released when 1 million people try to download 300 gigabytes of data all at once?
Yeah.
I foresee this being a giant cluster. Like, it doesn't matter how good the game is, you're going to have people bitching for weeks. Well, still downloading. Oh, it failed. Got to start again. And they're going to just be so pissed off that they can't immediately play this game. It's going to take them weeks to eventually get everything downloaded, because there's no way their servers are going to be able to hold up to this. Like,
well,
there's no way.
Like Last Line says, they are doing a preload 1 week before.
But even 1 million people
yeah.
at 300 gigabytes?
Yeah. I mean,
no.
Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people that don't buy it until it's out, that don't pre-order it, And so whatever the case, yes, that will help. I'm not saying it won't help, but I mean, this thing's obviously it's going to be a problem. There's no way it's not going to be a problem.
I think this is going to blow up in their faces, and they're not. And a lot of people are going to be like, maybe this whole digital only thing is not the best idea. But we'll see.
They're not walking this back though. Like, this is happening. Like, Sony's not backing off this. The tremendous negative response that they've got, the being called out, being threatened by lawmakers and other third-party studios who have come out and just publicly said that they don't like this and it's BS, and they have to really consider about, are they going to still be making games for PlayStation? Sony's like dead silent. They're not responding to anything. They're just like, nope, it's happening. And I'll tell you the reason why. The main factory in Japan, or not Japan, where is it in? Austria, maybe? Anyway, they have the main factory where they produce Blu-rays has already been repurposed. Like, they're saying in January of 2028, they're going to cease production. Most of their stuff is already shut down, and they're converting, or have already converted, a lot of that space to completely other shit. They're not walking that back. It's over with. Like, it's not coming back. This is what's happening. And we're all worried about what it means. There's this misunderstanding. The public thinks they can do something about this. We're not going to do anything about it. It's happening. It seems like John was saying earlier that it seemed like it was jarring because it's like happening, like it's being forced.
Mm-hmm.
It's been in the works for a long time. They just didn't talk about it in public. And then they finally talked about it after most of the process is already over with. Like, most of, the planning and the execution of what's happening, changing personnel, changing the actual physical buildings, changing out of equipment. A lot of that's already happened. So yeah, this is a thing that will happen. And whatever the future is going to look like, they're not walking this back.
To answer your question, Retro Bro, yeah, that's what I heard. Is it's not just games; they're doing it across the board. And Sony owns Blu-ray. That is their format.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. Is this factory production isn't just for Sony stuff. They produce the Blu-rays for other companies. They produce the Blu-rays for, movie studios and software, different things that have the Blu-ray format. there's not factories all over the world that make Blu-rays. There's a few, and the biggest one is already mostly converted at this point. Yeah.
He said, we need HD DVD to come back. Yeah, but do you really want another format? Do you really want another format?
Let's
Retro
bring
Bro?
back, let's bring back DivX. Let's bring back DivX, the disposable DVDs. You remember those?
Oh my God. I almost sent you something, but you know, you're not on Instagram, so I can't send you some fun, cool stuff. I'm gonna have to look this up here in a second. It literally was, I can't remember what company it was from, but this guy had it. It was a format. It looked like Laserdisc, but it wasn't. It actually used a groove and it actually read the data off.
I know what you're talking about.
Never heard of that before. I was just like, what? That's crazy.
The funny thing about Laserdisc is it's not digital. Like the laser, the engraved data is analog. It's not digital. Even though it reads it with a laser, because Laserdisc is based on the same technology that you're talking about. It's actually it goes back to vinyl records. It's the same type of thing. Yeah. It's just slowly evolved into the laser, and none of that's digital. So yeah, what you're talking about is fascinating. They used to put movies on vinyl.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, it's crazy. Technology.
I know, right? But anyway, so yeah, here's here's the thing, and I agree. The whole thing, and like I was holding up the Switch earlier, the Switch as a good example of this. Could we do something? Yes, absolutely. We could and apparently there's supposedly some people are trying to stage a boycott to show Sony they're not happy. Like the end of August, they're just not going to play PlayStation. And I'm just like, okay, I mean, if y'all can get enough people to do it, and you might actually maybe send a little bit of a message, I don't think it's going to sway them. Could we as customers? Absolutely. We could just immediately say, yeah, guess what? I'm not buying anything else for the PlayStation. I'm done. Sony would be like, whoa. But the number of people it would take to actually do that, we would never hit. We would never hit. It's like that whole thing you used to hear growing up. Well, if everyone would stop buying gas for like 4 days, it would cause the gas companies to like freak out and they'd have to lower the cost. You're right. It probably would. Look at what happened during COVID. But trying to get everyone in the world to stop buying gas, it will never happen, guys. Like, and you're definitely not going to convince every gamer because I guarantee you, probably 75, 80% of gamers don't give a shit. They just come home. As long as the game turns on and it works, that's all they care about.
The reality is we mostly buy games digitally anyway, regardless of what people will tell you about how much they love physical. And I do love physical, but I don't buy most games physical. I don't. Maybe on Switch too, I do. But as far as like PlayStation, or like you said, we had Xbox Series S's that didn't even have physical as an option. It's just the reality of where things have gone. And people can say they're going to boycott, and they can, get upset, and they can get together and make their little groups, and they can, charge up and down the street with pitchforks. The reality is this is already done. And Sony's not in any way, shape, or form intimidated by the public being pissed. They knew that was going to happen. They anticipated. In fact, they've stated their entire strategy is just wait out the storm. They're not responding to any of this. And they're gonna I say they're gonna win. They're not. This is just what's happening. It's gonna happen. And Microsoft, they might say, oh, well, since Sony's not gonna have discs, then we will. They're not going to.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that here in a second.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
They're called CEDs.
CEDs. Oh yeah.
CEDs, okay. Conductive vinyl platters. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like, but like the reel that I saw or whatever it was, the guy was holding up and he goes, this is not a this is not a
laser disc.
And I'm just like, do tell, go on. So yeah. So anyway, I thought I know a lot about different formats. I had never heard of this motherfucker. So
I had my great uncle, when I was growing up, in his basement. We would go over there on Thanksgiving and different things. And in the basement, they had a TV set up where you could go sit in there. And it wasn't Laserdisc. It was these big cartridges. Like they were like, and inside was a disc that would go into the machine. And that disc was a vinyl record that had a movie on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some crazy formats.
There are some crazy ass formats out there. Yeah, this was developed by RCA. First conceived in 1964. Wow. Jesus. That is crazy. So, well, speaking of Microsoft, so they started this thing, this disc to digital. What do you want to call it? Movement, feature, something, a thing,
scheme.
Xbox is testing disc to digital license feature. Would work for Xbox One and Series games, but not 360 and OG Xbox games. Installing the game would create a digital license, not requiring the disc. This could be a way to work towards moving away from disc as well. That was the stuff I was reading, because everything I saw, everybody was like, well, Sony announced they're getting rid of disc. And everybody's like, well, Xbox is announcing it too. Xbox is announcing it too. And I kept looking and I was like, well, they haven't. Everyone said they were going to, but they haven't officially announced that they're getting rid of disc. But then I find like 3 stories and it's just like, well, maybe they're going to tiptoe around it a little bit longer. Some games it may not work on, and it's being experimented on with, with this during the Xbox One. Apparently they started doing this back Xbox One stuff. So, I mean, it sounds like a good idea. You put the disc in, it gives you a digital copy, or, it gives you a digital license for it. So you don't have to keep putting the disc in. You have to have it installed, of course, but you don't have to keep changing out the disc. That kind of sounds like a good idea. We'll get there in a second. But then, like, you do have the ability, and I will say I do kind of like this though, that if I then give you the disc, it takes away my license for it. It's funny because this is almost the exact parallel of years and years ago that everyone brought up about Microsoft being like, you're not going to be able to share disc and this, that, and the other. And Sony's like, look, here's how you share disc. You just hand it to someone. And now Microsoft's just like, oh, by the way, yeah, you can still change disc, at least for now.
The Evercade people did a parody commercial of the Sony thing. Did they? Where they like, here's how you share games with Evercade. They even had the same format, like the font and the music was the same. And then the guy hands it. It was really funny.
Yeah, Rab, that's exactly it. Microsoft may have a disk drive, but it'll just be for backwards compatibility.
You want to say Rab sometimes when you're talking to John, you want to say,
yeah, right. I do. It's sorry, retro bro. My bad. I see R's and it's just, everyone's got an R in their name. So Microsoft. Okay. Born Distracted. Make a good point. Last line. Nintendo technically has done something like this already with their virtual card feature. It even allows you to share digital games to people and switch online family accounts. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's funny because this was talked about in 2013 when they announced the Xbox One and everybody freaked out. And now it's here. It's already being implemented. So, and by the way, with the Xbox Series console, if you have a disc, once you have the game, I'm trying to remember exactly how they do this, but like basically you're downloading the game anyway, even if you have the disc. And so the switch over for them for this disc to digital thing, the system's already in place for them. They've already got it set up to where all their physical games are already digital, and so that exists already. So, whatever this process is for switching out your physical to your digital copy, I mean, they're ready for it. They're ready for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely going away. It's definitely going away because, like I said, you got to remember, these companies don't make Blu-rays. Like Microsoft doesn't make Blu-rays. There's only a few factories in the world that do it, and they're getting shut down. So, like, you might be like, well, we'll always have like limited run. And I'm like, no, man. That if you're what you're going to find is, remember a few years ago, Eugene, when Limited Run did a game release and it was on a like a DVD-R or CD-R, like it was on a
Vaguely, yeah.
yeah. That's what they're going to go back to. They're going to have some locally like burned Blu-ray of whatever they put out because they're not going to be able to get them factory produced. It's just that's going to go away. Like this shit is happening. I mean,
so not to completely sidetrack everything, but how do you see this work? Like, because whenever I was talking to some friends of mine about this, this last weekend was Classic Game Fest in Austin, Texas's biggest retro gaming convention. Mm-hmm. And someone was like, so like, do you think that's going to be the end of that? I'm like, no. I said, no, that will always be a thing. Retro gaming will always be a thing. Now, certain consoles are going to get harder and harder to find and everything else because of, breakdowns and stuff. I said, what I foresee happening though is the Xbox, Series X and the PlayStation 5 will be the newest thing that after a certain point that people will be able to collect, because unless you want to buy one of these systems. Now, of course, this also should be feasibly, we're talking way down the line here. You should feasibly be able to buy a secondhand PlayStation 6 and still be able to buy the games and stuff for it and download them digitally and pull over the games that you already own until they shut down the store for that console. And in which case, then, yeah, it's a brick. Like anything that's not already installed on until someone finds a way to jailbreak it and get around that, which, that's already happened with the PlayStation 5. When someone jailbroke it, someone at Sony, royally effed up. But yeah, I was just like, no, what will end up happening is in the future, like the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, depending on what happens in the aftermarket, those will be the last ones that people will really collect when it comes to retro stuff. And they just won't care about those future systems. So you may get to a point where if you have a PlayStation 6 and whatever, the Helix or whatever, there may not be a huge aftermarket for selling it. Like once you buy it, it may be like, oh no, dude, like you can't get the games for this anymore. I'm sorry. I don't want it. I'm not even going to give you $100 for it. It's not even worth the parts anymore.
Yeah.
And I could see that happening. Whereas, if you want to go buy it, like I think Alex spent just over $100 for a 360. Now he also got all the cables and controller and stuff with it. But like I could see that in, in our lifetime at least, some of these newer consoles not being worth a penny if, once they're no longer supported online, unless someone can find a way to jailbreak them and actually put stuff on there. Because if you buy this system and you can't go to that store, what stores did Sony just like not too long ago just shut down a couple more stores, didn't they? Or was that someone else?
Yeah, they shut down. They are shutting down the PlayStation 3 and the Vita stores.
Okay, yeah.
They're going away. So, yeah.
So, but like, see, that's a prime example. So you won't be able to buy digital games for the PlayStation 3 anymore unless you've already bought them. But you can still buy the disc and you can still put the disc in and you can still play it. That console will, as long as you've got disc for it, that console will forever be, as long as it's working, a great system to have. But if it doesn't have a disc drive and there's no way to get games on it, I don't see these future consoles being worth anything in the far future. So
I think we're going to see some ramifications that we haven't anticipated. And I think they're going to affect more than just consoles. I think there are ways that this is going to impact PC. And I think it'll be interesting to see how that is and what that looks like. Because, I think that right now we just don't know enough and we haven't seen enough to really appreciate the full scope of all the different ways that this is going to play out. But I think it's going to have a lot bigger impact than anybody, even the companies doing it, realize. I think it's going to be a big deal, and it's not going to get better. This is what it is. It's not like I said, they're not going to not do it, but it'll be a different future for the way the world defines video games.
I agree. You brought this one to my attention. Xbox ad-supported games. Xbox launches ad-supported games for Xbox Insiders. Works for games that you already own. So I'm assuming this is you've already bought said game. This just allows you to play it without the disc or something, or like on a different, like on your phone or something. Is that how this works?
I'm confused about it.
Me too.
Yeah, because I don't know. They're doing too many things at the same time, and it's confusing. Like,
Yeah.
Microsoft is a madhouse right now, and this thing with the ad-supported games is a way that people could play online if they don't have a subscription. I think that's what they're saying, but I'm not. I don't know. It's very confusing. Between this and the streaming and the compatibility they're bringing to PC for Xbox OG and 360 stuff, there's weird stuff going on, and I don't really understand. But from what I do understand, this is all part of the plan leading towards their Helix console, which is basically just going to be a PC, and it'll have what I think it is really looking like now is it's going to be a PC, because what they're bringing to PC is backwards compatibility for Xbox stuff. So I think what the plan is to just bring all that to Windows. And then when they bring out the Helix, it's basically just a PC that has the Xbox marketplace built into it, like it's going to be built into all Windows. So every PC will be an Xbox. Just like they said, everything's an Xbox. Eugene, they were right. They were right.
And here's the funny thing. Like, I'm hearing all this, and as a consumer, I could see how a consumer would probably be, okay, that sounds like that could be kind of cool. As someone who works in a school district, which is very close to, a business, this sounds absolutely fucking horrible. I would be like, no, thank you. I do not want an Xbox on every single PC that's in our fleet. Thanks, but no thanks. Turn that shit off. So who knows? But yeah. And here's the funny thing, because I thought you were going to bring up the fact that, you watch an ad and he's like, who's going to want to do this? I guarantee you there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to want to do this. And the reason why I say that is I thought for sure when Netflix said, hey, we're going to have a much cheaper ad-supported tier, no one's going to buy that. No one's going to pay less so they can watch ads to what? Oh, no, wait a minute. Apparently, it's their biggest group now. Like, a lot of people just don't care. Like, a lot of people are just fine with ads. And I'm not. Like, I honestly think it's a generational thing. I think a lot of younger generation people are just like, oh, no, ads are just this thing that happened that you go do something else. Like we used to be as kids. And now that we're adults, we're like, no, I only have this much time to watch something. I don't want to spend a third of it watching ads. I want to do whatever it is, the thing it is. And so that's why we pay for Hulu Plus and YouTube Premium and all this other stuff, which, by the way, you bastard, I will never be able to go back away from.
I mean, YouTube is ridiculous if you don't pay for premium.
I can't even imagine. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
So last line, I don't pay for ads personally. Only ad service I watch is Tubi because it's free. And dude, there's a huge group of people. We were talking about this on another show. The fact that like a lot of the ad supported stuff is and free stuff. People are just like, yeah, it's fine. It's free. I don't want to have to pay extra money for whatever it is. So, but yeah, so they're ads for games. Watch an ad and then play a game.
So let me say this. I'm not opposed completely to the idea of having some sort of advertisements in games because we've always had some sort of advertisements.
Right.
No, I mean, even back to like racing games, there would be billboards on the sides of the track that had
TMNT 2, the arcade game on the Nintendo, had banners and a Pizza Hut. It had a coupon even in the thing.
Yeah. I don't care about that. That's fine. That's totally fine. There's ways to do it where it's not a problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's not what this is. This is something that's
I will say they were very upfront with it. Like if you read the press release, they're like, listen, it is an ad. It plays at the beginning, and then the game isn't altered. We're not changing anything. We're not forcing it down your throat. It's like, you know exactly what it is. You know exactly that this is an ad. It will have a banner or whatever. And I'm like, well, at least they're doing that. At least it's, oh God, I need to find this thing. Have you seen? I want to say it's in Brazil. It's a South American country. During like the 80s and 90s and stuff, when they would show movies on television and they would go to an ad break, a lot of the ads would try to blend into the movie itself. And there's a couple of these floating around on the internet. If I find any of them, I'm gonna have to show you, because the most famous one is it's the scene where Luke and Obi-Wan are in his hut, and he's talking about his father, and he goes over, and when he goes to open up the bench thing to grab the Vader's lightsaber to give to Luke, it plays an ad, and it's like picking up this bottle of like cerveza or whatever, and there's a little bit of information on it, and he puts it back, and then the next thing you know, he's turning around and handing Luke the lightsaber. It is done so seamlessly. It is fucking hilarious, dude. If I find it, I've got to send it to you. But wow. They're like, it's nothing like that. It's going to be very upfront, and yeah, we'll see. So last line said, I played the original GTA on PC via some client I downloaded that would play 2 minutes of ads before it loaded the game. I got to play free that way. That was back in 1999.
Oh, you just reminded me of something. Do you remember they used to have this thing where you could get a computer for free, but it would run all these ads on your computer? Do you remember that?
They did that with televisions. There was a certain TV that like it was either free or it was like severely like reduced in price or whatever. And I think people were figuring out if you don't ever hook it up to the internet, it can't download any more ads. So they're just like, oh, buy a Amazon stick or whatever and use that instead. But yeah, like I remember that. I remember those PCs that
we had a free dial-up service called Net Zero.
Oh my!
Yes, and it was the same thing. Like there was like these ads and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Is it the worst thing in the world? No. Is it annoying? Yeah, but
you get used to it.
Yeah, you'll get used. I mean, we watched ads our whole lives on TV. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Absolutely. What cracks me up though is, do you watch any live television anymore?
Only sports, like football and stuff like that.
I'll watch the evening news, and they don't do it every commercial break, but a lot of the commercial breaks, at least on NBC, like it shrinks down the ad to like about 75% of the screen, and it literally says the news or something will be back in like 60 seconds, and I'm just like, what is happening here? Did they get a reduced rate for that ad, or are y'all just like, don't go, we're coming back?
They do this in football games where they'll go to an ad break and they'll just shrink the ad down, and you'll still see what's happening on the field as they're huddling or they're talking on. Okay. So you want to watch because it's the ad, but it's also still football. It's a trick they're doing now.
That's kind of interesting. I didn't know about that one.
I don't mind. It's fine to me. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Now this is fascinating, right?
Okay, yeah. So you also brought this one to my attention. OG Xbox games on PC. Xbox rolled out Xbox backward compatibility on PC, playable on PC and handhelds. And apparently they've not just brought these games back, but they've added some new features to it. They specifically said we've added some quality of life improvements to the game. So like maybe easier to get to maps and stuff like that. And the 4 games that they've brought back are Blinks the Time Sweeper, Conquer, Live and Reloaded, Crimson Skies, I Road to Revenge, and Fusion Frenzy. I know I haven't ever owned any of these games. I don't know if I've played any of these games. Dude, I never had an OG Xbox.
Well, these are all 360 compatible, also backwards compatible. So you like I have Conquer, Crimson Skies. I used to have Fusion Fury, but I never had Blinks. But I've had 3 of these 4. Okay. They're all fantastic games. They're all very good. So higher resolution, which is nice, but they're all locked to their regular frame rates. Like Fusion Frenzy is 60, but all the other three are 30 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
And for PC people, that's like they don't that's not compatible with. They might be backwards compatible, but they're not compatible.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes, I can only imagine Alex being like, "Dad, what is wrong with this?" Like,
it's a slideshow.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's cool. It's really interesting that they're doing it. That right now they're in beta and they're testing these. It'd be interesting to see if this expands to more games, because they have talked about doing 360 also on PC. What that would look like, and if you like, here's what I would like to see. If I already own these games on Xbox, do I get them on PC, or are you going to make me buy them again? You know,
that would be interesting.
Yeah,
because that loops back around to the other thing they're doing about the disc to digital thing. Like, you would think this would be one of those things. You put the disc in and it goes, "Oh, you own Blinks the Time Sweeper. Here's the version of it." So
the last line says, "Yes, you get them." Okay, well, that's
that'd be cool.
I might have to see if I can download a Conquer, and I'd like to play. Yeah, probably all those actually. I don't have Blinks, but that's interesting.
That is interesting. So, yeah, lots of stuff going on. And like I said, still no official announcement that the Helix will not have a disk drive, but like all signs are kind of pointing to yes. Like,
it's not going to have a disk drive.
Yeah.
No.
So
no, and what's fascinating about the next Xbox is, since it is going to have PC stuff, what are they doing about the requirement for a Game Pass to play online? Because if they leave that requirement in place, they will be basically guaranteeing that their Xbox versions don't sell. For anybody that buys a Helix, if you can play PC games online for free, or if you have to buy the game on Xbox and then also have their service to play online, why would you do that when they're both available on your same system?
See, I thought maybe Alex told me something about this. I thought he said, and I may be making this up, I thought he told me the other day he heard something that it was rumored that they were going to uncouple that. Like,
they're talking about it. Yeah. No,
and so that it would be free to play online, which would be fantastic. Like,
well, they've already said they're going to drastically change Game Pass, and they put a moratorium on new games going into Game Pass.
Yeah.
So there's major changes coming to the pricing and what Game Pass actually is. They finally come out and admitted that it was unsustainable and it was a Ponzi scheme. Basically, they finally came out and said, "Yeah, this." Yeah.
So I didn't put this story on there, but I know Xbox just cut a bunch of studios and employees from studios and stuff, and are paring back. And what's funny is I looked up a couple of different stories, and all of them kind of seem to have the same, and who knows, it may have just been regenerating the same stuff. But most of the stuff I've seen on people online are saying, yeah, I think they just overextended, and this is just them being like, hey, like, we fucked up. Like, this is our way to fix stuff. It sucks. Sorry. It sucks that we're getting rid of all these people and all this stuff, but we fucked up. And if we don't do something, we're going to continue to be fucked up. What is your thought on that? Because kind of makes sense to me.
I think personally, just from what I've observed and from my theory of what's happening, when they got rid of Phil Spencer and what's her name?
Yeah, I can't think of her name.
Damn it, I can't remember her name. But yeah, when they got rid of the management at Xbox, they got rid of the whole plan because they were tied into it directly. Asha Sharma, who is now running things, is working directly for the head of Microsoft. She answers to him, and she's following his directive. I think that it is extremely possible that they had been struggling. Okay, we know this. I'll start with what I know, and then I'll tell you what I think. they way overextended on investing in buying all these companies. The Activision thing was so even if that had gone off without a hitch, it was too much. But then it stayed in litigation and in the government approval process for like 2 years or something like that. And by the time all was said and done, it was, I mean, just the Activision deal alone was over $100 billion or something like that. They spent 60 just on Bethesda. They spent like the amount of money that they spent to acquire all the studios that they bought was insane. And the reason they bought them was for Game Pass, because the whole thing was contingent on Game Pass subscribers continuing to grow at a certain rate and hitting certain benchmarks so that it was not profitable. It was never reaching the level where it was like, oh, cash cow. But they had to meet certain metrics for it to make sense to keep pushing forward, in the hopes that if they continued to grow, it could sustain. And then they would sell software and they would sell hardware, and it would create all these other advantages for them in the computer space. And it was a long-term strategy, not to make money for Xbox, but to continue to keep their hands in the cookie jar as long as possible for the long-term stuff to play out for them. And it failed because they stopped gaining subscribers and started losing subscribers. And they spent way too much on Activision that they weren't supposed to spend. And the upper management at Microsoft finally had enough and said, you have to make this amount of money. They give them like an ultimatum. They had to make like 30% margin or something like that. And if you don't make that money, we're going to change everything. We're going to change course. Everything's going to be different. And they didn't hit that mark. And Phil Spencer and the rest of, the management got fired.
Yeah.
And then when they brought in Asha Sharma, we all had these speculations about why we thought she was there. And then she sort of calmed people's nerves and blah, blah, blah. But I have a theory, and I really do think that it's probably true. I think if you pay attention to what's going on and what they're saying and how they're talking about the licensing deals that they're doing and what's in Game Pass and what's not in Game Pass, and what is the Helix going to be and what is it not going to be, and bringing compatibility for stuff to PC and stuff. I have a feeling that Microsoft is going to sell Xbox.
I was just about to say, I was like, is Cy going to propose the Lucasfilm?
Yeah.
We need to clean things up, tidy things up, polish stuff, make it look nice and pretty so we can sell this thing off.
I think they're uncoupling a lot of Microsoft stuff, which is why they decided to not include all their AI stuff. I don't think it was because they were like, oh, the public doesn't want this. I think it was because they were like, we don't want to put our AI into something that we're going to be moving on from. Like, we want our stuff. And if you notice, like I said, they started pulling things out. They started separating things out. And I really do think it's a very strong possibility they're going to sell Xbox. And who are they going to sell it to is the question.
Born says Sega.
It's not going to be Sega. It's not going to be Sega. It could be one of these smaller companies that you don't think would have enough capital to do it, but might find a way to do it. Sort of like how GameStop's trying to buy eBay, I'm going to say something that's going to sound nuts, but I think it might be possible that, and I'm not talking about next year, but in the next few years, a company like Atari buys Xbox.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. I think, now I'm not saying necessarily Atari, but maybe, but a company that there's like a company called Embracer Group. There's like these companies that have been acquiring other companies and stuff like that. And they're more of an investor group, but they also are conglomerating different things. Something like that could happen. And I do think it's very possible Xbox could be separating from Microsoft. I think that's definitely possible. That sounds insane.
That sounds insane. Atari is smaller than Sega.
I know it sounds insane. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm saying I'm saying we live in an insane world.
I mean, I've heard, and I can't think of any right offhand, but I remember hearing about, oh, so and so acquired something else, and you're just like, wait, they're not smaller? Like they are? Wait, what? Like it doesn't make sense. When what was it? The Kmart bought Sears. I was like, wait, Kmart is more powerful than Sears? That doesn't make any sense. Like,
well, but again, it's not always that a company is bigger. So like I said, there's sometimes if you do things a certain way, a smaller company can buy a bigger company. They just borrow a shit ton of money, basically.
Yeah.
And if they think they can turn it around, they can get that money. This does happen. And maybe Sega does buy Microsoft. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? I had to say it. Sorry. I don't think so, because
I don't think it would happen either. I think they found they like making money too much, not having to deal with hardware and stuff. Although you talk about someone who would be like, all right, we know where we fucked up. Let's not do that again.
It is also possible they could sunset Xbox and not sell it, which again feeds into the evidence that they're bringing backwards compatibility to PC.
Mm-hmm.
Like the goal might be, depending on how things work out, that they just make PC compatible with Xbox. Like they bring the Xbox library into Windows, and then they say, okay, it's all PC now. Our library is all part of PC, and Steam is on the new Xbox, and it's vice versa. And we just make our marketplace part of your Windows experience. And that's what's on there. For our new games, go to Steam. But here's your backwards compatible library available to you on every computer. That's probably a likely scenario as well. But here's the question. The most unlikely scenario of what's going to happen with Xbox is that they're going to turn this thing around, and all of a sudden Xbox is going to become the big console in charge, and the glory days of the 360 are coming back. I don't think there's any possibility of that ever happening again. What is the ultimate life of Xbox? It's not good. I mean, where does it go from here? They're never going to be the big company that they were. It's not going to be the predominant platform ever again.
What if let me float this idea. So their plane is slowly going down, right? Do you see a position where Sony just completely bombs and like hits the ground first?
No, I don't.
You don't see that? Okay.
No, people are pissed right now, but Sony's right. They just have to wait it out, because ultimately Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to come out and everybody's going to buy it and everybody's going to play PlayStation, and the next God of War is going to come out. The next whatever is going to come out. Sony's going to keep bringing out really good games and not so good games, but also really good games. And people like PlayStation, and they like the service that they offer. And I think Sony's going to continue to be successful in PlayStation for a couple more generations, probably. I don't know how far that will go, but the competition is getting better for them, because they're really just competing with PC and the Switch and Nintendo. That's really their competition. They don't compete with mobile games. That's a whole different thing. And they include free-to-play stuff on their system. And they have cross-compatibility, with a lot of games and stuff. Cross-play, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Sony will be fine. I think people are mad right now because they don't like this and it was abrupt and it confuses people. And we're worried about what it ultimately means for the industry. Sure. But it's not turning around. It's just going to happen. So we're just going to see it play out. And then that will be reality. And Sony will continue to be doing well. They're not like Xbox is so far lost. They're so far gone. Anybody that thinks that there's any hope that the Xbox is going to become number one again, or even number two, or even have any chance of being a serious competitor to Nintendo or Sony, guys, this thing's over with. It's been over with for a long time. The people that hang on and they get upset with people like me who talk about this reality. I'm like, dude, I get it. I mean, I love my 360. I had high hopes for what the Xbox brand would do. But the fact is, the best sales they've had in years have been putting their games on PlayStation. And now they're taking that away. They're not going to put new games on PlayStation anymore. So what the hell are they doing? Like, what is their plan to make money? I don't know. They put a moratorium on the one service. They put all their eggs in that basket. And they said, okay, we're not putting any more games in the Game Pass. Well, you're definitely not getting an explosion of subscribers to Game Pass now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're trying to. So what are they doing? What is the plan? Is there some great, amazing savior plan that they have in mind that's going to turn everything around, that they got some genius new idea? No. The big idea is they're going to put PC games on Xbox, which destroys Xbox. I mean, I don't care what you think. If you have Steam on your Xbox and you don't have to have any service to play your games on Steam, you're going to buy Steam games on your Xbox. So unless they figure out some way to make money off having Steam on an Xbox, I don't know. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. Yeah.
We'll see. It's stay with retro games, guys. Pretty much.
I mean, I just want to say real quick about the backwards compatibility thing. I think that's awesome, but it's also probably a harbinger, a canary in the coal mine about what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, pay attention, guys. It's not just out of the goodness of their heart they're letting you play your Xbox games on your PC. That's not what's happening. There's a lot happening there. So anyway,
fair enough. We'll hit this one real quick. So supposedly or allegedly, the Nintendo might be working on an OLED Switch 2. Switch 2 has only been out barely a year. But they're talking about if they do this, it could hit late 2027, early 2028. Apparently Nintendo has said they are hesitant due to parts of, the price of the parts and stuff. And as is, the Switch 2 is already moving up to $499 come September 1st, which is one of the reasons why I went ahead and bought a Switch 2. Last Line, that motherfucker, and Cyrus, that other motherfucker, both put out videos like, hey, Star Fox is, the killer app for the Switch 2. I sat there and watched their videos and I'm like, God dang it. It looks like it is the killer app for the Switch 2. And so I really thought about it. And I was like, well, I guess I could get one, but I definitely need to do it before September 1st. And I even asked, I texted Si multiple times. I was like, hey, it's kind of coming on my radar. This is a thought I'm having. Like, is there any reason to hold on to the Switch 1? Does all my Switch 1 stuff, controllers and stuff, work on Switch 2? I think I had another question. And he's just like, yes, get it. Star Fox is awesome. Yes, all your stuff works. No, there's no reason to hold on to the original Switch. And so, yeah, that's what I've been doing. I went and bought a Switch 2. Amazon was like, oh, you did know that you could, pay this amount for 6 months with 0% interest. And I'm like, oh, yes, I did know that. Quick. So that's what I'm doing. I did not drop the $500 right offhand. But yeah, that was one of the things that side did say, he's like, hey, just as a heads up, they might be making an OLED Switch 2, in the next year or so. I didn't want to wait that late. Number one. Number two, I do not have an OLED Switch 1, so I don't know comparatively how it looks. Like, all I had was my original OG Switch. So I was like, no, this wasn't something that was going to be enough for me to go, this is enough to wait for. But hell, can you imagine how much it would even be if it's going up to $500?
I've heard rumors they're talking $700
for a Switch.
Yeah, but it would be like an OLED screen, probably a little bit bigger, and then also maybe more memory, like they did with the OLED Switch 1. Like,
right.
But yeah, I think their plan is to have it be the premium, like the Switch 2 Pro, basically, not necessarily that it would have more GPU power or CPU power, but that it would have a little bit better stuff and then a better screen.
Yeah. And see, once again, because I even mentioned this to Sai, like I've had this Switch 2 for several weeks now. I have not played it at all in.
You won't touch it again.
And undocked mode. Like, it stays in the dock. That's where it lives.
Oh, you're talking about the Switch 2. I think you're talking about
the Switch 2. Yeah. No. So my Switch 1. I was going to tell you this before the show. Today, actually, earlier on, I decided, I was like, I've got the Joy-Cons for the Switch 2, so that's a controller. It's a fairly decent controller. My OG Switch 1 Pro controller still works. My dongle that is from
he said dongle
8-bit do or do, which I'm sorry, why is it 8-bit do? It's DO, not DU. Anyway, my dongle to hook up my Xbox controller works on the Switch 2. I'm like, and then I've got a second pair of Joy-Cons and a controller, and I was like, so I've already got 4 controllers for this bad boy. So I was already excited about that. But I got to thinking about it, and I was just like, going back and playing with the Switch 1 Joy-Cons, even as a controller, I was like, this is okay. Maybe I should look at buying another controller for this thing. So when I get paid, I'm probably buying the 8-bit do. I think it's Pro Controller 2 that has the Nintendo layout, so the buttons are switched or whatever. But it's got like paddles on the back. It's got an extra button on the top. Everyone gives this thing fucking glowing reviews. Of course, it will also work on my PC, which I'm kind of excited about because I'm using my Xbox Series controller on it. And I was just telling the boys, I was just like, if I could program a couple of those buttons, that would actually help me out a lot on Helldivers, because some of these long codes you have to put in, I was like, I could sign that to one button. That would be kind of nice. So I think I'm going to buy one of those controllers. So as a result, I was like, well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and sell, when I do sell my Switch 1, I'm going to go ahead and sell the second set of Joy-Cons I have. Well, one of them was having a little bit of, not necessarily stick drift, but you could tell, like, when you were testing it, like, it wasn't quite going all, like, if you're making the circle, when you get to one side, it just kind of goes up instead of going all the way over. So I'm like, all right, I guess I need to replace the joystick on this. I bought it. It cost me, I think, $20 from iFixit. Got it in today. No problem. I didn't have to unsolder or anything. It was all just screws and a couple of little cables. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is so much better than trying to change the joysticks out on the Xbox controller or PlayStation controller. But yeah, like, I've been extremely happy with this thing. And I'm glad I went in and bit the bullet on it. So I'm thinking about paying the $10 and doing the upgrade for Breath of the Wild, even though I'm not necessarily planning on replaying it. But
it's
just
stunning.
To see how much better it looks.
It's stunning. Like, I played all the way through it. I just beat it not that long ago. I think I did 150 hours or something.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, 4K HDR Breath of the Wild. Oh my God. It's really good. Oh, last night, it's funny because I almost bought the disc on sale a couple of times. Eugene was like, no, don't buy it yet or whatever. And then it went off sale. And then I was like, nah. So I'm waiting. If I see it on sale, I'm going to get it for my PS5.
By the way, last line, I'm up to like at level 83, I think now. I've got over 300 hours into the game. Like, it's It's an addiction. But you should know this. You just spent like what'd you say, 100+ hours playing Breath of the Wild again? So I mean, I get it. Like the really good games, like you can sink a ton of time into, which is why I still have not played Red Dead 2. I'm like, at that time I was like, I cannot afford for this game to eat this part of my life. But now that I've kind of given up a lot more time to playing games, I'm like, Alex is like, Dad, you really should buy it. It's a lot of fun. I'm just like, yeah, I know. Everyone has good things to say about Red Dead 2. So if you get the Switch Online expansion pack, the upgrade packs are included. Oh, okay. So, anyway. Oh, you wanted to mention real quick about Nintendo and the refunds or not getting refunds.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's getting a huge payout from the government to make up for the tariff situation, and they flat out came out and said that they're not giving the money to they're just keeping it, and that's the reality of that. This is what I was saying, talking about people saying like, oh, the prices for games will go down once there's no physical stuff and all that overhead is gone, and the employees, they don't have to pay, and the equipment they don't have to maintain. And I'm like, no. You guys, no, they're not. If they were just going to give that money to you, that's negates their entire like plan, the reason for shutting it down. Like, they're not a philanthropy or whatever. They're not this isn't a charity. This is a company that makes money off selling video games for a profit. Both of these companies.
See, not to get political, like I understood when people were like, well, then money should come to me. I'm like, well, technically you didn't pay the tariff. The company had to pay the tariff to get it pulled over here, and they charged us money for it. But then there should have definitely been a stipulation of, okay, well, we're cutting you this check because yes, you did pay the tariffs. But then what are you doing for the customers? Because if you're not doing anything for the customers, then we're about to tax the shit out of you on this money. But obviously that didn't happen.
Nintendo flat out said that the consumers willingly paid a price for a product. And that's the end of that. You didn't have to buy it at that price. You weren't coerced into something. You weren't told that you would be getting that money back at any point. All we said was, here's the price for our product, and if you want to buy it, you can. Now, whatever happens for us has nothing to do with that. That's the way they're talking about it. And they have a point. I'm not saying they don't. They do have a point. If they set a price for something, there's a billion factors that go into why that price is what it is. Whether it's tariffs or the price of oil or the price of RAM or the price of whatever, there's reasons why companies charge what they charge at any given time. And depending on what happens in marketplaces, the cost for them might change. Like, they might sell you a Switch 2 because RAM costs a certain amount. Well, then if the price of RAM goes down, are they supposed to rebate everybody that bought a Switch 2 and say, oh, we know you paid more than what RAM costs now, so now we're going to give money to people that no, because they had to pay that back then. Now, if they're getting the money back later, you make the argument and you say, well, but you're getting that money back. Yeah, they're getting that money back. They put up, the costs and everything they had to do to produce their product, and they sold the product. You bought the product. That's out the door. That's in your hands. If you have, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of a way to, like if you have a garage sale and you sell your Switch, your OLED Switch that you got rid of, you sell it for, I don't know, let's say $100. Let's just say you sell it for $100, and somebody buys it from you for $100, and then they go down the street and there's another garage sale, and the other garage sale is selling it for $80. And they come back to you and they say, the other garage sale is selling it for $80. Are you giving them $20? I mean, it's
they could have at least been like, they could have at least done something like, hey, 10% off on if you bought a Switch between this time and this time. Here's 10% off on your next game or controller. They could have done something.
Oh, sure.
Something.
If Nintendo ever cared about being pro consumer, as they say, there's shit tons of things Nintendo would have done over the years. Like, you know how many times we had to buy the same fucking game? Like if we bought like the virtual console version of Super Mario Brothers, you buy it on your 3DS, you buy it on your DS, you buy it on your Wii, you buy it on the Wii U. You can't buy it now, but you can get the service to have it on your Switch, but you're never going to own it. Like if they gave a fuck about us, they would have been like, hey, you still have the same Nintendo account, right? Okay, well, you still own these games. Like Sony does that. They give you the games that you already bought. Microsoft does that. They give you the games you already bought. Nintendo has never done that.
That's true.
They don't give a fuck.
That is true.
The closest they ever came to that was if you bought games on the Wii and you had like the virtual console, you could put them on your Wii U, right? But it was still the Wii version. If you wanted the Wii U version, you had to pay to get that upgraded. They don't give a fuck.
Now that you mentioned it, the fact that the upgrade for between like the Legend of Zelda for between the Switch and Switch 2, the fact that it's only $10, that actually says a lot for Nintendo. Now that the way you're putting it, I'm just like, yeah, I guess they are.
Well, actually, it's free if you have the Nintendo Switch Online.
So if you have but
you can do that.
Yeah, and I've got to check into that because I do have Nintendo Switch Online. I don't know if I have the top tier or the plus version of it or whatever. But
I don't think you have to have the best version to do it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that because if that's the case, then yeah, I'll definitely do it because I'm already paying for it. So
yeah. But
speaking of which, now that I have a Switch 2, we have some birthdays coming up here. You know all about this. Yours being 3 days after mine. I've already told the boys. They're like, "So are you gonna buy Mario Kart?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know if I'm necessarily gonna buy it, but I have a birthday coming up, boys. So I'm hoping maybe September time that'll come around. But even then, we need to get together sometime and play some Star Fox." So,
well, I'll tell you this: if you want to, you're always invited. Jeff's channel, Go Game Go. We play Mario Kart on Wednesday evenings, and on Sunday evenings or Sunday at noon, we play Star Fox. And it's a pretty good group of people, and you would definitely be invited to come be a part of that. So
okay, I may have to check that out then.
Yeah, it's a regular thing every week. So, I'm just telling you, not that I wouldn't want to play with just you also, but I'm saying like if you want to be a part of these groups.
Yeah, that would be fun. So, and not to extend the show any longer because we're already over the 2-hour mark. I just have to say, did you find playing on normal mode? Did you find some maps for some reason seem like they were easier?
Oh my God, it's so easy
on the Switch 2. But then there are certain levels that kicked my ass.
Yeah.
They like when you do the alternate route to go to Venom and you have to fight Star Wolf and his pack. I had to continue 9 times to get past that. They kept kicking my ass.
I haven't gone all the way through all the stuff in it, so I need to. I've been mainly just playing multiplayer, like online.
Okay.
It's really fun, but it's also frustrating because the bots, if you set them to the high difficulty, are really, really good. So
are they?
We have a lot of fun, but it can be frustrating because beat your head again. Plus, we got a couple of people that come in and they're just like freaking badasses. Like you're like, please be on my team, please be on my team, please be on my team. It's really fun though. I think you'd have a good time with it. It's way better if you haven't done any online multiplayer with it yet.
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's really good. You'll be happy with it.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, some levels, like literally I beat a level and I was just like, maybe they did make this easier. And then I literally got to that level and I was just like, nope, never mind. So they kicked my ass.
Yeah, I got you. But some of them are much easier. I was surprised. I was very surprised. Last Line plays with us over there too. So
nice. Yeah. He said Cyrus is an easy target in Star Fox. Well, except when he isn't. So I guess really have good and bad moments.
I have occasions where I will get lucky and things will go well, but I'm really not that good at it. I just have a good time playing it.
Fair
It's
enough.
a fun game. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And yes, yes, it's the killer app for the Switch too. Like I've already told multiple people, and in fact, I even told some people, I was just like, if you like Star Fox in the original, man, you'll love this. And they're like, well, I already have a Switch too. I'm like, well, then you don't have an excuse. So
It's like, dude, if you even remotely like Star Fox in Nintendo 64 or whatever, and you don't get Star Fox on the Switch 2, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why you have a Switch 2, because that's the game. That's the game.
That is
it's
the
really
game.
Good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and move on to our social media stuff. Cyrus, where can we find you online, sir?
Super Mega Graphics 64. I'm really not doing my second channel much. I haven't touched it in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I'm going to take anything down from it, but I think I'll probably just keep everything on my regular channel, except for my other projects, which whatever,
Fair enough.
Yeah, Super Mega Graphics 64. We're back in swing. We're doing regular member stuff on Mondays. I'm doing videos and streams. We're having fun. It's good. It's good stuff. Lots of pictures and videos of Jon Snow. Come check it out.
Absolutely. You can follow my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene. Honestly, it's mostly just repost of the stuff that's happening on the main site, epicallygeeky.com, where you can find all of our shows. Unless you want to see how I built like an outdoor cat box for the litter that's working out really well. That was something I meant to talk about at the top of the show. I just wanted to point out. So yeah, we have not done this show in over a month. In fact, we took pretty much last month off. Part of that was Cyrus's influence, but mainly because I have never been so completely and totally burned out in my life. Like I was just totally burned out on everything, and needed a break. And I still feel kind of burned out. Like it's getting better. I'm starting to feel better, starting to feel like I want to kind of start doing some stuff. That included like making stuff, doing Ghostbuster stuff, live streaming. Like I did not want to do anything. And I'm slowly but surely kind of recovering. But man, let me tell you, if you've ever hit full 100% creative burnout, guys, like it's a real thing. Like Cy and I were talking about it on one of the other shows. Thank God I'm not doing this as my profession, because if this is how I made my living, I don't know what I would have done. There's just no way. I don't know how I would have made money. My kids would have been like, "Hey guys, no extra, no desserts this month." So, but because that's hard enough feeding those bastards. So, let's thank everyone that was in the chat. Last line was here. Born Distracted. Let me scroll back through here real quick. Like I said, last line, Born Distracted. I know Retro Bro was here for a good while. Good to see you, man.
Rab was here.
I know my boy jumped in for a few seconds there near the very beginning. But yeah, thanks.
I think Tricom stopped by, didn't he?
I don't think so. I'm looking through here. Oh, our buddy Ray stopped by a little bit at the beginning, so I don't see Trichrome here.
I thought I saw his name earlier.
So I don't see him. But if you did stop by, thanks for stopping by, bud. We always appreciate it. So that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, that was the other announcement I wanted to make. We're going to go to kind of a 5 on, 5 off, or 5 on, 1 off schedule. So we will probably continue to do a monthly show of this. I know this kind of started off as a weekly show, but we're going to cut back. We're going to do once a month for this show. Okay. Last line said, yeah, he was here. Oh, he was here in spirit. We're going to move this show to just once a month. Just because, like I said, we're kind of cutting back, trying to find a groove for everything. But yeah, we'll do this show once a month. And then like in December, we will probably take another month off. So it's good for the mental health. It's good for everything. So that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sure there'll be lots of fun stuff. Hopefully some nice, good stuff, healthy stuff happens between now and we do the show next. But yeah, I have a bad feeling we'll be down on everything again. But this
you know-
is our way to vent. This is
the
our place to vent.
thing is, like, it's not all necessarily bad. There's just a lot of change in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
And we don't like change. We're old.
Mhm.
And it's not going to be, like I said, I'm trying not to be like sky is falling, it's the end of the world. I'm trying to just be like, look, this is happening, and here's what it might mean, and this is why we're worried about it. But it doesn't necessarily mean the worst. It doesn't. We'll see what happens.
Yep, that's all we can do is see. All right, gang. Talk to you later. Y'all have a good night. Make sure to check out epicallygeeky.com, where you can find all of the shows that we do, including the Epically Geeky Show, Marginally Geeky Book Club, Creatively Geeky, Sustainably Geeky, EG Live, and EG Gaming. But before you do, make sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube. And if you're a person with a human-style body, why not head over to our TeePublic store and grab a t-shirt, hat, shorts, or whatever else they sell to cover that body. You can find the link in the show notes. And thanks for supporting us here at Epically Geeky. See you next time.
What's the twist? What's the score?